Sergeant! Sergeant! Who get us today?
I don't know. I only saw one of them camouflaged.
We never really saw the Predator, and that's one of the wonderful things about that movie. I mean, we saw, even when my character is shooting and the arm goes off and all that sort of stuff, what my character saw was this sort of apparition that looked like the plants, but he saw the movement.
When you design for visual effects, there are many more parameters that have to be considered than just the camera in action.
We have a red suit that he runs around in the jungle with, and we pull mats off of it. The full camouflage effect, which is made up of a bunch of concentric inlines, we call them. There'll be the film that created the Predator, the background, and what's inside the Predator. We're also doing the heat vision that he uses to see, so that the audience doesn't just see heat, which is kind of a disorienting image. We are shooting regular color film of the background and also a heat image all at the same time, and then combining them together later optically. So in order to do that, both cameras have to see from the same perspective, which we accomplish with the beam splitter, so that the audience knows what they're looking at, and yet at the same time you can see a very startling and spooky image of what the Predator sees.
So that then when those glasses come down, you're real close to the camera, actually.
Okay.
We have a lovely little guy who comes to us from the optical house in New York. He takes measurements of everything, and the angles and this and that, and he's got a protractor alongside the camera and a surveyor's transit, and he checks absolutely everything and says, no, you can't shoot that, you can't shoot that. And he runs up and measures this and measures that. And 3 hours later he says, all right, maybe you can try it.
And that requires sometimes 6 hours to shoot 1 3-second cut.
We had to go off and start shooting the movie, and they were late turning out the Predator, and we all were desperately anticipating, it's coming, it's here today, no, tomorrow. Finally, the day it arrived, and they took the crowbars and pried it open and opened it and lifted it out of the box, and we all looked at each other and said, oh, are we in trouble?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe if you shoot it from a low angle up, it would look bigger, you know? It just was kind of like underwhelming.
The original Predator was not the Predator that you saw. The original Predator was a red figure with one eye in the middle on kind of stilts that on wires and so on.
I just remember standing there and looking across through the trees, and there's this giant red thing coming like this. Like just exactly what we had not been trying not to have, because it was impossible to move, and it was terrible. I shot a shot, 2 shots with the damn thing, and just sent it back to the studio saying, you really don't want us to continue with this, do you? And they looked at it and said, nope, wait, stop.
We knew the production was going to have to shut down when we ran out of money. And it was one of those fortunate things that Larry Gordon was on board as a producer, because he was there to protect the financial integrity of the picture. In other words, he was there to beat somebody up to get us more money, which wasn't going to happen for a period of time because it needed Leonard Goldberg to come, and he took over the studio. He followed Larry in. He saw the movie and saw the potential of the movie, saw an hour of the movie, and okayed the funds to finish the picture.
A break in shooting like that is actually a tremendous luxury. It's wonderful. Woody Allen now does it as part of his production process. He shoots most of the movie and then goes and edits it. And then he goes and finishes, but also reshoots the things that, now that he's had a chance to work with it in the cutting room to see what he can do better and to adjust it. And what I wanted to do was put the movie together first and then go back. It's by no means a calamity. It's actually it's an advantage.
It gave us an opportunity to see the picture. And, I think that really affected the end of the movie, because I think it was made bigger and more exciting, and and spectacular. And it's always great to be able to shoot the third act of a movie, knowing what the strengths and weaknesses of the first two acts are.
And then we went to Stan Winston. It was wonderful.
You're probably wondering why we brought you here today. Basically, what we're doing is making monsters. That's what we do, and we do it well.
Stan had just done this before, and he knew how to go about it, and it was just a very different experience working with him.
Joel Silver contacted me, and then I met with John McTiernan, and if I recollect, I believe it was Arnold that recommended that they contact me, because, of course, Arnold and I had worked together on The Terminator and have remained very close friends ever since.
What the hell are you?
The creature design evolved given the springboard of the Rastafarian warrior that I had seen the drawing of that Joel had on an airplane flying to Japan with Jim Cameron sitting next to me. And while I was on this airplane flight to Japan, I was sketching concepts for the Predator. Jim Cameron looked over to me and says, "You know, I always wanted to see something with mandibles." And I went, "Oh, really? Well, so what?"
I think Stan Winston gave the Predator a great look. He came up with that unique hair design, came up with those jowls. He really created an indelible monster.
He was going to be a warrior and a humanoid, muscled out warrior. And guys in the studio had known of Kevin Peter Hall and was just finishing suit work on Harry and the Hendersons at the exact same time. And I believe Kevin was somewhere on the 7-foot range. Immediately the concept became, let's get Kevin, who can in fact work in a suit, who is an actor, who can create a performance, can create a character. And here is a guy who is huge. And next to Arnold would make Arnold look like a peanut.
I saw them go by with this big mattress. They were in the Kevin's room, so they could have two big queen-size beds, and he just slept across both of them because he was so big.
And he wasn't just some big guy in costume. I mean, the way he moved and the menace and he took things off, I just thought he was totally brilliant.
The design of this Predator is really wonderful, and the concept of the character and the hunting down Arnold is fun. So there's already the incentive to get into it because you're going to be going after Arnold Schwarzenegger. But on top of all of that, there's creating a personality that the audience can relate to. Because without it, then it's just something from somewhere else. Whereas this is a real conflict, and it's real important in this movie that the audience get a sense of who Arnold is and a sense of this evil force that is chasing him down.
Because he suffered so long in the damn suit, I had to make sure that he got his face actually on screen.
What the? I've always wanted to play a heavy, and this is an excellent heavy.